like actively,
That's
get
wild.
into?
Because now, I mean, how old are you?
36.
Okay. I mean, Pennsylvania is probably like the pinnacle of wrestling now in terms of college. Iowa's still probably bigger on a state level for, I mean, for high school. But that's crazy
It
if that's
is,
true.
dude. I mean, they might have it nowadays, but back when I was, kicking around in 2002 to 2006 in high school, it just didn't exist. I mean, everything changes though, right? Like everything is always shifted. What are you over there puffing on, dude? A black and mild?
Well, this is weed, bro.
Oh my
No,
god. Your
it's a black.
your stressful life now has got you smoking the ganja, huh?
No, dude, if I smoked weed, I would freak out. I freak out on weed. I can't smoke weed. Mushrooms are a different story. I like mushrooms, but no, this is just some tobacco.
What's your cat's name?
Suni, she's
Oh,
crazy. For the first time ever, I locked her out of the room. It felt kind of bad when I went to sleep. She hopped up on the bed. She would, for a few nights, she would hop up on the fucking bed, go on the mantle, and then I don't know what the fuck she's doing up there, and then she falls on my face. And she did it 2 times, and the second time she fell on my face, like she scratched me, and I'm like, all right, like you're about to lose privileges of being in my room.
let me see here. Um, I'm curious. I seen uh I seen your photos you're posting back like when you were, you had storage units full of books and everything. Like
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit how it's changed, like how the game's changed from back like when you were heavy into it and like even when I started in like 2018 to like what it is today. I know for me personally, it's harder to find profitable books in comparison to 2018, 2019. Like I remember you could go in any thrift store and you're like full cart gang every single thrift store you're in. And now it's like it's tough with the way the fees are structured.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I go out to shoot YouTube videos from time to time in Nashville, and I'm surprised. Like, I got this whole stack of books over here that right there. I found that was at one Goodwill for about probably like 30 minutes to an hour. But one thing was back then, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I just accepted everything. But the fees were lower, so there was grace there. Whereas now, like when I see a $2 profit book, it better be like under 100K if I'm gonna pick it up. You're probably more tuned into what actually sells because for the last 4 years I've been running restricted inventory, so my average sales price has been like $30. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if like profit has really dropped too much for sellers, but because Caleb always said like the low books aren't going to make you the profit anyway. We're just forced not to take those as much anymore. You know?
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's what you said, right? I think you got to focus on the how I need sell through needs to sell through, right? Because you don't get paid unless your shit sells. At the end of the day, like you could have
Yeah.
10,000 books in an Amazon. If none of them are selling, nobody cares. Like having a huge inventory is like the dumbest thing ever. Like I always tell
Yeah.
everybody, if you could just give me like $3 profit on every single piece of inventory I got, like I'm taking the check today because you can always go find more of this stuff, right? It exists everywhere. But I think we kind of get caught up with oh, I don't want to be the lowest price or I want to, kind of compete. I don't want to be the low. For me, it's like I want my stuff sold. If we're paying $1 to $3, like we got to be making money. We got to be turning over inventory. And I think as booksellers, sometimes we kind of hang on for a sale and like even the fee structure, right? We're just talking about your generic fees. I mean, look at the storage fees now and the removal fees from what it used to be. I remember when restock limits first hit and I removed like 2,000 books and it cost me like $500. And
Yeah.
now if you
Or free
remove,
removals.
yeah, dude. And now if you imagine removing 2,000 books today, you're probably looking at like an 8 grand bill. Like that's crazy to sit here and say within 3 years, it's shifted so much.
Yeah. Yeah. You really got to be careful on what inventory you send in now. The removal fees, I think that was like a good move by Amazon to incentivize not sending in cheap inventory if that was their goal, because yeah, whatever FBA fees, I can break even. But the removal fees, I remember the first time in 2023 last summer, one of my accounts was shut down for the counterfeit book deal. And I had to remove 10,000 CDs and DVDs, and I paid like 15 grand. And I was like, holy shit.
It's a lot, and a lot of people really don't think about it until you get jammed up, because you just send stuff in and you're like, okay, well, everybody thinks all their stuff's going to sell, and like that's never the case. Especially
Yeah.
in the media lane, it doesn't exist. Like, sure, you're doing wholesale, you know the date on the products. These are faster moving products that are selling multiple units every single day.
Yeah.
But in the media world, a lot of this stuff isn't going to sell. And think about long-term storage back when we first started. It was like 18 months. Now it's 6 months. So after 6 months, you're paying more. Like, they just want, that's what you said, they want you to send stuff in that's going to sell. And with media, the way your items sell is the buy box, which is being the lowest price, unless somebody in a certain part of the country is buying your item and your item's available closer, then sure, you'll get the buy box at a higher price. But like, people have given me shit over the years. I'm curious what you think about it. The fact that I've undercut in the buy box by 1 penny since I started this business. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, if Amazon wants me to be the lowest price and I can just undercut, you by a penny and get the sale, like, then it's kind of foolproof to me to just do it.
Yeah, when I had like 10,000 CDs, DVDs, and back when I repriced my textbooks before I partnered with Michael, I would, after 60 days, I would start undercutting the buy box. And that's still what I recommend. Like, if you guys go to starthumble.com, Module 5 has my repricing strategy. Also, if you type in Romer the Romer Be Cool, it's essentially the same strategy on YouTube, but with Be Cool instead of Channel Max. And after 60 days, we start aggressively pricing down. And one of the reasons why I believe that's necessary is I think sometimes items are priced a little bit too high. And I mean, look at what the big players are doing. Jensen Books is notorious for undercutting. Discover Books, like these huge guys, they are lowering the price. And I think sometimes it's good to lower the price just so the book gets to a price where it actually sell. And if you have like a repricer, like reprice it, and you're undercutting by a penny, you're not going to ruin the market. Now, if two people are using Channel Max, it's fast enough to bring a $30 book down to $12 in a few days, probably, or a week. But if you're using reprice it and you're competing against someone else, like, it's probably going to take months to like bring that book down, even a couple dollars. So you're just winning the buy box day by day by undercutting by a penny. So I don't think it's that bad.
Nah, I agree. I just, the idea that, I mean, sure, if it's a fast moving book, but I mean, Go2Lister's got that built in, so now you can't even really have an excuse for, like, if it's a fast moving book, it's going to price you at like FBA 3, which makes sense. But like, for some reason, people get this idea, it's like the e-score sales score is like 6 or 12, and it's just like the book's like, well, I know I seen on Keep It that it sold in 2010 for $300. I'm like, well, what can you get in today's world for that same book?
Yeah. Do you know much about the fair market value on Scoutly?
Yeah, from my understanding, it's the price that it last sold at merchant fulfilled. So it's got shit to do with FBA. It's just disregard, like 100%. If you could just wipe it off the app altogether, because I don't care what the merchant offers are, honestly. And if you're selling FBA, you shouldn't either. The idea that, well, the merchant's selling it for $5. Well, how many $20 items have I sold as the only FBA offer, and the merchants are at $5 and there's 20 people? Who cares what the merchant price? But yeah, that's what it is. The last time it sold merchant.
Gotcha. I will say kudos to Scoutly. I used their app for the first time in years. And when I was out sourcing books, several times I got notified for a book with no offers or like one offer, but particularly no offers. And it would auto compare, I think it's like 15 or 20, and it would notify me. And then I would open it up and I'd see like the sales rank's 5 million, but it's been out of stock for the whole year. So it's been creeping up, but it used to be at like 500K a year ago. It's just been out of stock. So those are the books. And that's what we try to do at Go2Lister with the no FBA offers, because that was a huge sourcing strategy of mine. I would go into thrift stores and, like you, I would be eyeballing the MF offers. And then if there was no FBA column, I would open up the Amazon icon on Scout IQ, and then I would go through, oh, there's no prime offers, and I would price it higher. So we Go2Lister, we notify you, hey, there's 0 offers or there's no FBA offers, and that's an opportunity to price your book higher. And maybe even a more exciting thing than just pricing higher is you're the only one selling that book, so your chance of getting the next sale is extremely high. Like in wholesale, there's a big difference between hopping on a listing with 20 FBA sellers versus 2. If the average sales for a listing is 600 per month and there's 2 sellers, you can expect to truly sell probably 300, if not more, per month. But if there's 10 or 20, you have to share that. So you have to divide 300 by, let's say 30 people. You might only get, 10 sales a month if you're not priced competitively. So
yeah, it's a completely different ball game what you're doing with the wholesale when you kind of compare us. the business models. It just dude, this guy crushes. He does Whatnot, St. Louis bookkeeper, and all he does is Playboy magazines.
Really?
Dude, he absolutely just knocks it out of the park. Like that's his only focus is just driving around the world, finding some nudie mag to sell to some strangers on Whatnot. He just sells out every single show.
You probably can't even sell that stuff on Amazon, right?
No, you can't. Dude, there's so many ways to make money, man. But yeah, back to it. It's like it's so tough. Like I started with books. I always be the used book guy on YouTube, but I tell people if we can find the same things in the same area, right? CDs, DVDs, and there's no point in not being ungated and not scanning those things. I still scan all of the books, right? It's not like, oh, the fees are higher, so I'm going to half-ass when I go into a thrift store. I'm still going to put in the work. You got to put in the scans to make the money at the end of the day. But it's just changed so much over the years, and thankfully, I'm sure everybody got the email. Amazon promises not to raise fees in 2025.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Maybe they'll go the other direction. They do that sometimes, or they go really hard one direction and then they go back. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. So have you been noticing CDs and DVDs have been better than books over the years?
Dude, when I first started, I didn't mess with CDs. I didn't get on the CD DVD train until Christian book became available, because remember, at least back when I started on Amazon, you had to go through like EE distribution, and it cost like thousands of dollars. And at the time, I was like dead broke. I ain't paying for that. I'm just like, no. So I didn't start probably until 2022 CDs, DVDs, and now it's 75% of my business.
Yeah. Dude, I built a whole business around people not wanting to sell CDs and DVDs. We had like $200,000 to $300,000 worth of CDs and DVDs sent to my consignment business, where I would sell them for other resellers because they don't want to mess with it, via restrictedinventory.com. And that was like my introduction to CDs and DVDs. But CDs are nice because they're so small and they don't take a lot of space. When you pack CDs and DVDs, are you packing them in the same box as books?
It depends what I got, because just whatever I pull in for the week gets sent out the same week regardless. But I've done full boxes of CDs, and like the Lowe's boxes, you can get like 182 depending if you got it like any of the bigger cases. But if not, I'll just throw them on top of the DVDs, like 2 rows of DVDs in the box. I just cram them in wherever. I never really gave a shit about the stuff I sent because it's all good condition. I mean, nothing's ever like, I haven't had a box and magically rip open or a box get lost or anything. But yeah, I stack everything in together.
What up, Josh? Shout out to Josh. He made a Go2Lister video recently. He's got a good YouTube channel too. Go check him out. Do you know about Josh Graff?
Yeah, dude, he's a member of the channel. I don't want to take credit for moving his ass into Amazon world with his books, but you know what? At the end of the day, I mean, he's got the connection. He's been doing eBay heavily, so I'm glad he's kind of gotten to Amazon, and you don't got to deal with all the headaches of listing and photos on eBay. So yeah, yo, Roy's crushing it too. Roy's another member of the channel that secretly knocks it out of the park, and he does bulk. So yeah, both them guys are killing it. They're doing more than me, but hey, yeah.
I just did a college buyback. I got this one book, but I think I dropped it on the way out, so like all the pages fell out of it.
Way to go.
But I went to, and this is still a viable business model to this day, go to a college, set up buyback. It's not easy to get a buyback deal. Luckily, I'm the alumni. Go to your alumni college. That's probably the best place to start if you went to college. And I still have connections there. I went up, had the whole wrestling team. Just the wrestling team alone brought in $2,400 profit. And I only spent like $500 and something, $505. I pulled out $3,500 just in case, you know, things went crazy. But back in the day, dude, I was so stupid. I made money, but I would set up on campus and I would just notify the app. We had Lindsay Wilson College app. It was like they were trying to be like a Facebook, and then everyone on campus would get notified. I'd be like, hey guys, I'm in Smith Hall buying books right now. The whole campus would bring me books. I promised I would pay more than the bookstore because the bookstore didn't pay shit. And then I also paid more than Chegg or any buyback company did, which was kind of stupid in hindsight. I should have matched their price or gone less, because who wants to pack a book in a box and send it out when they could just get cold hard cash right there? And every year I would almost run out of money. And one year I called my dad and I was like, hey, can I have $700? And he sent me $700 via Bank of America. I pulled it out, and then at the very end, I remember kids were bringing me like medical books or just like biology books that were going for $200, and all I had was like a stack of fives, and I was like, sorry, this is all I have. Like, oh, we don't care. We don't care. And they would just give me like a two, and I was like, holy shit, I've been paying way too much for these books. And so this week when I went back, obviously now I know a lot more about book prices, and I can look at the Amazon seller app and just instantly know what to pay based on the sales rank and low FBA. And a lot of these books I'm paying, like I paid $1 for each of these. This actually, I shouldn't have even paid for this one. It's not good. But if it wasn't good, I'd give them $1 or something. You know, you want to take all their books if you can. And then for books like this going 40, I'd offer them like 5 or 10. And yeah, over the years, I've gotten a lot better at giving lowball prices. So now I'm probably as low as the bookstore or maybe a little bit higher. But I did this funny thing where I vlogged it. The YouTube video will be dropping like in a week or so. But I asked the wrestlers, I said, how much you think all these books are worth? They'd, oh, $100. I'd scan them all. I'd be like, I'll give you $5 for them. And they were always pissed. And I did this. I was like, I should have played into it more, but I was like, do you want to wrestle me now? Like, does this make you want to wrestle me? And then I wrestled one of the kids. And a lot of the kids said, no, I don't want to wrestle you, too big, because they're like 25-pounders. But I thought that was a funny concept because everyone's pissed when you give them the price. You just have to get used to it. Like if you're ever going to do a buyback or anything. But buybacks are still a great opportunity. It's going upstream. It's going to the books before they get to the shelves of the thrift store. So if you can do that, it's huge. I think you could be making like $100K plus a year just with textbook buybacks. You don't even have to sell them on Amazon. You can buy them for 20 and sell them on bookscatter.com for 40, or send them. I actually sent all mine to restrictedinventory.com, even though I don't own the business anymore. They have a $20 cap, so they'll never take more than that. And I would probably get my funds in like March or April after this textbook season, but it's still a better deal than having to, go one by one and send them different buyback vendors.
Yeah, I seen a little old lady probably a month or so ago. I didn't record her. I try not to record, especially when there's other scanners, unless they're douchebags, because then I can just run my mouth about them. And she had the Sell Back Your Book app and was just scanning the books with the app. Yeah. So, so like I'm filling up my cart with stuff, Salvation Army, 99 cents. Everything is 99 cents media-wise. And so she asked me, hey, like, what are you doing, right? So I'm like, I'm always 100% with people. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm selling these on Amazon. Like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm using the Sell Back Your Book company. I'm like, let's take a look at this. So, right, I said, let me just give you a little bit of reference here. It's not that hard to start selling books on Amazon. So, like, we went through some of the books she had in her cart, and I mean, she was sending them good stuff, and they weren't offering her like that much. So I was like, Sell Back Your Book's going to give you $4 for this. If you just sold this yourself, like you get $20 in your pocket. I mean, to each their own, what you said, right? Not everybody wants to have an Amazon account. Not everybody wants to be sending shit every single week into Amazon. So, I mean, I get it, but I just think to myself, like, if you can get all the money yourself, like, then 100%. But then you can go the route, Sell Back Your Book, where you have people send you the stuff, then 100%, anything works.
Yep. Shout out to Act Now Mastery. They say, hey, Mike and Avery. We got Katie Reeves in the house. What's STL?
St. Louis, dude. She's probably talking about the nudie guy, nudie mag guy. That should be his name, nudie mag guy.
Smoke on live.
Everybody wants to know what he's smoking. He's not going to tell us what's actually in the Swisher Sweet that he's smoking. Give her $4 and send it to Amazon yourself. I should have, but I mean, she had a little pile of like 8 to 10 books, and hey, maybe she needs that money because a lot of these folks live on Social Security.
Yeah, you should have offered her for it. That would have been hilarious. Offer her for it. Right there.
I should have. $5 bill, just slap it down on her car. She'd take it right away. Why do you think? Because you brought up like, all right, you go to the campus. That sounds so scary to everybody. So why do you think media sellers, booksellers in general, like are so reliant on just going to a thrift store and not actually like going a little bit further up the stream to find better quality inventory at better prices?
I think two things. I think number one, people are kind of scared. Like they got into this business because they wanted to be like introverts and make money and just scan and do whatever you do. I listen to podcasts. You don't want to talk to people. You can just make $100, $200 an hour just going to thrift stores, scanning shit. I think number one, like it's more like of an introvert type business. And number two, I think people feel like it's so easy to make money selling books that like if someone finds out, like the thrift store owner or the friends of the library group, they'll do it themselves. What you have to realize is like this business is easy, but it's also extremely difficult at times. And people are going to make mistakes. They're going to send in shitty books. You have to make FBA shipments. You have to reprice your inventory. You have to check on your inventory. You do all these different things, and these companies don't want to deal with it. So if you look at it more as like you're providing value, and if you're paying cold hard cash up front, you're guaranteeing them profit from day one, and you're taking the gamble and making the money on the books. Now, if you have your systems dialed in, you know your numbers, of course, you're going to make money. But you know, if you're just starting this business, the truth is you could end up overpaying for books, and they get the better end of the deal. So personally, that's what I think it is. But the people making the real money in this business, like millions a year, they've secured backroom access. They're processing bulk books. They've built a brand like sellbackyourbook.com or Books Run or Discover Books, or people that set up donation bins around their town or whatever, you know, or people just have exclusive relationships. That's the way to like really win in this business.
Yeah, I've thought about this too, because I got a few library connections, and like I didn't have to really work to get any of them, right? They're just through cold calling and, you know, Craigslist ads basically. There's just the inventory, and it's kind of like a cheat code, right? Because I talk about it all the time. Like the libraries I work with, we set up the library sale, like I'm there throwing the boxes, because all the volunteers, you know, they're all retired, so they need at least one young hunk like myself in there throwing boxes.
Yep.
And you get access to the whole library sale before it's even open to the public. And I even have people over in the group, they volunteer 1 day a year at the library sale day. And what happens? You set up the library sale and they say, hey, Romer, you can buy 50 items since you helped set us up. Just imagine the possibilities of not having to deal with all the riffraff at the library sales and being able to scan the whole sale before it's even open to anybody else. Like, I just want to shake people sometimes and be like, Goodwill ain't it. Like, here, take this email template and just go email everywhere besides a thrift store. And listen, the libraries don't care. It's all volunteers. They're all understaffed. They need as much help as they can get. I pay them when I go pick up the books. I don't pay an astronomical amount. When I set up the sale, I bring donuts. You take care of people, they take care of you. It's just one little extra level to this business, and you go from your business sucks, you make no money because you're at the Goodwill, to all of a sudden, holy shit, it's like you're just printing money.
Yeah. What kind of emails are you sending out?
If you come to my monthly Go2Lister call tomorrow, I'll let you know.
Heck yeah.
Shameless plug.
When you use a free trial Go2Lister, you get the email. He'll be breaking it down. I remember the first time, because there's a psychology of if everyone's doing something, it's got to be where the money's at. And so when you go to a library sale and you see a line of like 20 people and half of them are resellers, like this is where the money's at. I'm at the right place. And when you go to a library sale and there's nobody there, you're like, oh, like mentally your brain's not like in scavenge mode where you're like, oh, I have to get, like, you don't think there's as much profit there, but the reality is there's a lot more profit at the library sale where nobody's there, even if the library sale's worse. And the first time I ever experienced that, Caleb actually told me this. One of the wise things Caleb says, he always says these like quotable phrases or text that he sends me. And I'm like, where can I find like better library sales? Because there was that website, there's still the website, booksalefinder.com, which everyone should go to, put all those library sales on their calendar. There's booksalefound.com, I believe that's the name of it, where like somebody tried to like find library sales that weren't on Book Sale Finder. So they basically are Book Sale Finder. But what I did one day was I was like, I'm just gonna call libraries near me and see if they have sales. And I was just driving around Nashville, finishing up my route. I used to drive up 65, and I'm driving up 65, and I called this one library, and they're like, oh yeah, we have a sale starting tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, can I come by today and help set up? And they're like, oh yeah, we'd love that. Dude, I go there, I make like $1,500 profit in one day. I filled my whole Toyota Corolla up with books just because I got access to a sale that nobody else had access to. So I always tell people, just email every library in your city and just ask when the next library sale is, and just get all of them and put them on your calendar and prioritize the ones that are not advertised on booksalefinder.com. Because booksalefinder.com can be great. You know, they can say we have 400,000 books, whatever. But if they're advertising that much, there's a high chance that there's a lot of resellers that are going to be there.
Yeah, and the library will say it's not picked over, but I hate to break it to you, there's probably somebody like me who probably got to pick it over. So and
Yeah.
another great thing about it, a lot of these old time booksellers that run in do these library sales only, they are scared to touch disc media. The last one I went to, I was probably 12th in line. There was like between the 11 spots in front of me, there was probably like 40 people because you know how it is, right? A minute before they open, the whole
Yeah.
family pours out the car, like, and it's just like
Yeah.
shit. And not a single one of them went to the disc media. There was a 25 item limit. I went in, complete series back there for $1. I literally was in and out of there 15 minutes. I guarantee you I made 10x what they did on the books. And these people are all still fighting over books. And I just got a big shit grin on my face walking out the door. Like, if you know, you know.
Yeah. We got Beard King Picker in here. What up? We got Paula in here. Picked up 40 books at Goodwills today. Good shit.
I know Beard King lives at the bins. My bins around me actually closed down. They closed. I had 3 Goodwill bin locations. Now it's down to 1. It's definitely a way you can get cheap books. You just got to make sure that it's something you want to do. You want to be digging in those bins, fighting the crazy ass people.
We got Katie Reed saying just got a small shipment done in 10 minutes on Go2Lister. I saw one of my users, shout out Ryan, I think his name's Siegel $sign or something on Instagram. He's got this setup where he's got his scanner here, and he just takes the CDs and DVDs and books and just scans them and puts them down. And he listed items so damn fast. I don't think I've ever listed items that fast. Maybe I have, but like back to back, boom, 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 boom. But the way he did it looked super cool. And so if you guys don't know, Go2Lister is the fastest listing software on the planet that I created. Because other softwares weren't as fast. Check it out.
The number one thing I love about it most is it helps me list and process my items that much faster. And as you know, if you want to grow your Amazon business, speed is the name of the game. If you're thinking about selling on Amazon or you're already selling and you want to be able to grow your business quicker, definitely check out Go2Lister. Appreciate you, Avery, for creating.
Appreciate you, Steve. Steve Rakin. Go follow him at rakinprofit.com.
What's your take on me calling myself a full-time media seller, but I don't spend nowhere near 40 hours a week in the business, but I make a full-time income?
Full-time income counts. 100% it counts. You don't have to be slaving away.
I know what I'm saying. Some people get rubbed the wrong way because I'm like,
really?
I do this. I mean, listen, I'm transparent about everything, right? So I'm
like Warren Buffett saying, "Oh, you're not a full-time investor because you're reading books all day and thinking about it. You're not thinking about investing every waking hour."
Yeah, but I mean, you got to realize this. There's a lot of people, and I think this is what happens, especially in the reselling game, even outside of Amazon, even eBay, whatnot. No matter the platform, I think we get caught up. Just we think we're working and we're not. Like we're wasting time on the dumbest shit. And for me, like I thought to myself, okay, I don't want to be at the Goodwill bins. No offense, all day, Beard King Picker, you at the Goodwill bins. I got nothing against that, but it's just not for me. So I thought to myself, how can I grow this business without being in the thrift stores 5 days a week? So you just change your routes. You run 2 long routes instead of, going out 5 days and just hitting a few stores. Go out 2 days and hit all of the stores. And, I'm straight out 20 hours a week, maybe a little bit more here or there, but like. Think about that. If I'm doing over 100K in sales a year, doing 20 hours a week, like if you really want to be a hustler and drive, I got people that drive, stay overnight, travel across the country like you used to do by themselves, and they're pushing well over 25K a month. I'm like, this business can be whatever you want it to be, whether you want your time back, you still want to make money, or you want to be the person that's just, I'm going to do this myself and I'm going to do 500K a year.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a silly comment. There's a lot of silly comments out there, a lot of silly mentalities. Like when people found out I used to sell courses, I might sell courses again in the future. I'm thinking about selling it again because it's one of the best ways to scale paid ads. But right now, all my courses are free at starthumble.com. You guys can check them out. But people are like, you make so much more money on courses and you make blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm like, you're so focused on like how gurus are making money coaching or selling courses that you're forgetting about the opportunity that's in front of you. Is the opportunity there or not? If it's there, go after it. If it's not, move on to something else. But don't think about what someone else is doing. That's like woman in the red dress. People are always thinking about the next opportunity. And I personally have that too. Like I am pulled by private label. I'm starting a private label product right now because I think it's such a big opportunity. It's so hard for me to pass up on. I'm seeing my friends make money in the same industry or same. And it's like, that's something that I'm pursuing. And then I also want to pursue Go2Lister. I also want to pursue wholesale. Like I want to do a lot of different things, but sometimes you can look at maybe like a wholesale guru and be like, oh my gosh, like there's 2,000 members in this community. They charge $3,000. They made $6 million with courses. And like your brain just goes, oh, he's making all of his money from courses. Well, maybe he is, but maybe he's still raking in 100K profit with the business model he's teaching you. And that's when you have to drop the ego and drop the woman in the red dress syndrome, where you're always looking for the next opportunity, and ask yourself, is this a good opportunity or not? And if it is, do it. If it's not, move on. But I actually think, because I've been dealing with this for years, I personally think it's a defense mechanism to not take action. I think people are kind of frustrated by their lack of results, and then they're like, because I actually like witnessed this with myself. I had those thoughts too, and then I'm like, was it a good opportunity or not? Should I do it or not? And it's literally just a thought process to keep you in a loop to not take action, and it can manifest itself in many ways. But one of the ways it manifests itself is like calling out course creators for making more money selling the course, which there is times where the course creators are fake gurus, so we got to call them out. Shout out to CopyZilla for doing that.
Dude, all right, we're going down the rabbit hole of fake gurus. Did that person you called out, are they like a fake guru?
No, I get that comment a lot. What do you mean?
No, the person the person you just called out. What was their name?
What are you talking about?
Something Zilla?
Oh, CopyZilla is a YouTube channel that exposes fake gurus, and he started with the Amazon fake guru Kevin David back in the day. So
all right, I got one for you. All right, now I know what that's about. Have you ever heard of this company? Before I tell you my opinion on it, Book Profits.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole here, and I guess
for 2 hours the other night. I was fascinated by their funnel, but yeah, they're complete scammers. They're complete scammers in the sense that they overpromise. They definitely have fake testimonials. They're not real, and I don't know if they have successful students. And if they did have successful students, why would we not hear about them? We're in the book community. Like, not to sound egoic, but I'm one of the focal center points of this community since Caleb left. Who else is there? Me, you, Steve. Really, you're like the guy in the trenches right now out there doing it. Like, you're like the one posting social media actually like thrifting. And you have this community of what, 200, 300 people?
300 people, paying members. I guess that's my course. Oh, shit.
I have a public Facebook group of 16,000 people. Steve just crossed 10,000 a day. I have Go2Lister. You'd think at least we'd hear about a couple of them. If the testimonials are people are making millions, which is what they say, old people, like 70-year-old women on their fucking testimonial page, you would think that some of those people would come out of the woodworks and be like, oh, this is a cool little community. By the way, I learned from these guys, but there's none of them, So anyway.
I only brought that up because I'd never heard of them until probably 6 months ago. I do one-on-ones behind the scenes, like coaching. And I had a few people that I sat down and did one-on-ones with, and they actually tried the Book's Profit. And I went and looked into them kind of like you did. And I mean, holy shit, scam central. Like, oh my, I feel bad for people because it gives people like me and you kind of a bad rep, even though we don't know who the hell these guys are or where they're from. They probably never sold a single.
From Nashville. They have the Batman building on their backdrop. They're fucking somewhere around.
But does anybody like know these guys like personally? Like, has anybody ever met one and had a conversation and kind of, dude? Because then all of a sudden,
5,000 for fastest growing companies. I don't know if you have to nominate yourself to get on there. I think you do, which I'm never going to do, by the way. Like, I don't think that's cool to nominate yourself for a business award personally, but they're on there, and that means there's like some revenue. I don't think it's that big of a revenue requirement, but they're making a lot of money selling courses, bro. So,
they are. They're making a shit ton because I asked the people I had one-on-ones with, like, how much are you paying? And I'm like, shit.
35, I think their program's 3,500 on Reddit is what it says. And I don't know if they have a downsell.
Yeah, well, see, the problem is, people like me and you, we're in the book community, and then somebody gets, screwed over by one of them guys, and they think all of a sudden we're all kind of in the same boat. I never heard of them until this year, and I was curious if you did, because I just want to know. I just want to have a conversation, be like, holy shit.
And just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with charging that much if you get people results, but I just don't think they're getting people results.
They live here in Nashville. What are they called? Book Profits.
Bookprofits.com. Don't sign up to the program.
Don't sign up for the program.
If you go to their website, you'll get pixel and you start getting their Facebook ads. I'm getting their Facebook ads.
Yeah. 15K a month selling used books. Hey, imagine if you added CDs and DVDs, you'd be pushing 30, 45K. I guarantee it. I promise you.
And I don't think we gave this guy a proper shout out. Brown Frown 22, 111K, 74% plus 74%. I'm not sure what that means. Total cost 11,000. Total fees 45,000. Total profit 54,000. Good
He's been
shit.
hustling all year, dude. He's always commenting on my YouTube channel. I'm always giving him shit. But I mean, you put in the time. That's the thing with this. If you go out there, you scan the shit, you're gonna make money in this business. Like I truly believe that I won't say it's foolproof, but it's damn near the closest thing you can be to spending a little bit of money and turning it into a 6-figure business selling media on Amazon.
Yeah, so they're doing at least $2 million annually, according to Omer, who acquired restrictedinventory.com. We'll be doing, everyone who's signed up for restrictedinventory.com, if you're not already, go over there and get an account. We'll be doing a Zoom call just to let you guys know that there's a good, reliable person taking care of your inventory now. So that's going down on Monday. So be sure to be signed up. We'll be doing a Zoom call so you guys can actually ask us questions with your voices. And Jamie says, I do 60% retail arbitrage, 40% online arbitrage. Oh, retail arbitrage books. I don't think of books as retail arbitrage, but I guess it is technically. Nice. Good stuff.
Light bulbs. Yeah. Every damn live I do every month, he's in the live like, dude, you selling any light bulbs lately? And every time I'm in a thrift store, I think of his silly ass because he's like, you got to sell light bulbs, man. There's money in light bulbs. I'm like, dude.
I've seen a lot of light bulbs in thrift stores.
Uh-oh. Maybe we need to launch a light bulb course. Boldprofits.com.
Bolo for bulbs. Bolos.
Yeah, we'll put out a monthly bolo list, only $500 a month. We'll tell you all the hottest bulbs to get out there.
The hottest bulbs.
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely nuts.
That's contraband money.
So have you been in like any of your Goodwills lately?
Yeah, I went to one down here in Franklin.
What's the scoop?
Yeah,
Are they scanning all their books like they are up here in Pennsylvania?
I don't know. They've been scanning books for years, but I did pretty good the other day.
Well, then you still got a fighting chance. My Goodwill.
I think NitoScan just went down, their main software they use for listing books.
Yeah.
There could be a big opportunity right now to land bulk account deals, call up these thrift stores. They're probably way backed up in books because their software's down. They're not able to send these books to Amazon. And there's probably just better books on the shelves too. But yeah, I mean, if the thrift store's scanning the books, look for the non-barcode books. Look for the books that have no FBA offers. Look for the books that, don't have any offers.
What are they charging per book down there?
I paid $2 for paperbacks, maybe $3 for hardcovers at the one I was at, and then $1 for children's.
Yeah, all mine are $2.99 across the board. Books, CDs, DVDs at Goodwill.
Really? I remember up north, even years ago, like Savers would charge like $7-8 for some books.
Well, I mean, you get a lot of quality up there.
Yeah.
What are the requirements to sell CDs and DVDs on Amazon? It's as minimum as it ever will be. I always tell everybody, get in on the boat today. ChristianBook.com, buy 10 of a CD, DVD. You're gated in. You can get them for like $1.99 a piece. So you're looking at $20 for DVDs, $20 for CDs. You get your invoice, submit it, boom, you're out the door running. Sure, you're going to have gates like brands, right? Like Disney is going to be a big brand, Sony, Paramount, Fox. Some of those will come down with time, but then you can just go find, 10 Disney Frozen DVDs and submit that invoice. Then you can sell all the Disney DVDs and you kind of can loop it in together, right? Maybe you find like a Disney Lego Batman DVD or keychain or something, and then you can knock down multiple brands. But I mean, it's so cheap to do it and the stuff's everywhere. You got to take advantage. I mean, you could sell a CD or DVD at $9.99 and still bring home $3. You can't do that with books no more. It's impossible.
Yeah, if you're not selling CDs and DVDs, just add it to your arsenal. Like you should 100% be doing it. And go to YouTube, type in Mike Hughes book guide triggers for CDs, DVDs. He's got some good ones. And
I got new ones coming out next month, new year. I got to redo all my triggers.
Heck yeah. So all you got to do is go to ChristianBook.com. If you guys look at the screen, you can see it. Go to DVDs, and then you're just going to filter by price right here, $0 to $5. And look for the cheapest one you can find Here's one for 49 cents. So for $5, you could get ungated, and you'll also probably get ungated in this weird brand here. So $5 for DVDs, $5 for CDs. Just find another 49-cent one for CDs and upload that receipt to Amazon. Just make sure your address matches your Amazon account. That's the only requirement. And there's 10 units total, and you'll be good to go.
You don't got to sell them either. You can give them out to your close friends and family or people that are on the naughty list for Christmas, especially if it's a shitty CD or DVD. Here you go. I got you a DVD. Yeah. Well, I thought you gave the same one to your cousins. Hey, don't worry about it. All right. It's just 10 of the same. I donated mine to the Second and Charles Free bin back when they had one. It's like, boom, just throw them right in there. Get these things out of here. People, for some reason, feel like they got to sell the items they buy to get ungated, and that's not.
They're going to make profit on everything.
Yeah, just get rid of them. I returned mine. Dude, that's bad juju, man. We're about to drag you out back right now, Shot Down. You know better than to be returning things. You've been around too long.
This is bad. This is what I used to do with the Notamove, because I referred the Notamove, so I kind of feel responsible for their product and function, which, by the way, currently I'm recommending the KDC 200i. It used to go for $100 on eBay. It's currently going for $25 used. It won't be for long because I keep recommending it. But if you want a high-quality scanner with like a laser beam laser, it's just like really nice and what's it called, compact, whereas the Notamove is kind of like this glossy, where it's like foggy, it's like spread out. And so in the sunlight, if you're scanning books like at a garage sale, it won't really connect too well, but the KDC does. And what I used to do is I used to get the Notamove scanner, and if it broke, which I think 1 out of 10 of them wasn't really functional, I was buying a lot for whatever reason. I think I was doing giveaways or something. And if it didn't work, I would just take my other one. I would take the one not working. I would put it in the new box, and I would return the broken one. But I'm like, you guys should be selling me a functional product. It shouldn't be breaking in a month. So I did the return game with that.
It is what it is. And listen, dude, if you don't have the Power Rangers ring scanner, I mean, this is it. This is when you achieved your full superhero ring scanning abilities, when you got one of these guys here. I love this thing. It's expensive, though, and Romer's is a lot cheaper at $25. This thing will cost you $75. But, I mean, think about this. You can wear this around the house, out on dates. Yeah, the e-yo-yo ring scanner. Nice, people be like, look at this. You're just so cool. It's so sleek. I keep one up here. I keep one in the car. I keep one in the glove compartment box. Anywhere you can go, you always got your ring ready to go. And if you're scared of people seeing you, you can do the little upside down thing so nobody sees your scanner. I mean, this has got endless capabilities.
Dude, if you guys are worried about looking weird in a thrift store, just imagine me. Like, I go in there, like, I don't use my camera tripod, but I get this little tripod for my phone. I don't have it near me right now, and I'll put it up there, right here. No, I don't have it. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Can we do shots?
Shots.
Every time we say sales rank, we gotta take a shot. And I set up a damn tripod and record myself in the thrift store to make these YouTube videos. And then people walk by and they're like, what the fuck? So if you guys already feel like weirdos scanning the books, just imagine putting a tripod and having a camera and people can see themselves on camera. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, and look at me. I'm like basically bald already, you know, from selling on Amazon all these years and worry about getting banned every morning I wake up. I dress like a hobo. I don't care what people think of me, honestly. I mean, that's just how it is. I can't be out in the thrift stores driving a Lamborghini wearing tuxedos. Then people are going to think I got money. Then I get mugged in the parking lot. And then that's the end of the used book guy. Unsolved mysteries. They need to make a scanner that looks like a 6 finger. Yeah. You can just paint it like your skin tone, and then nobody will even know you have nothing, right? Like it's so silly. I don't even care if everybody that comes up and asks, or even employees at stores, I always tell them what I'm doing, because you don't know. Like, you can open the door just by one person, even if some old lady, she could have a house full of books. Maybe her husband's a professor or something. It's crazy. I don't understand the idea of hiding what we do. And I straight up tell people, listen, I support my family doing this business. It's not like I'm ripping people off. I literally, if you feel like you're in the type of situation where somebody's like, sure, I've gotten rude remarks like, oh, or people like huffing and puffing, talking under their breath. But like, at the end of the day, like, this is what I do to support my family. It's a real business. Like, it's reselling is just
fishing for it now. Like, I think I could get a lot better at making high quality reels of Karens just chewing me out at library sales. I can make that like a thing where I just argue with Karens like in line, and the Karens like, you know, you're stealing these books from people that want them. And then like I just have this huge pile of books, and I'm like, guys, I'm gonna make $500 profit on all these. And then like the staff at the library always has my back because I'm buying the most books. And then they could pan to the staff and zoom in on their face and then zoom in on her. I have a YouTube video out there where one lady's chewing me out. So I think that might be like a content angle of mine.
I don't think people realize that if we don't get the books and put them in somebody else's hands, they're going to recyclers, they're going to landfills. And like, I'm not a book aficionado. I could care less about books, or like, I don't have a bookcase where I keep a collection of books, but I know for a fact that if I don't go to the library and pick these up, they're going to the dumpster. If I don't go to the thrift store, they're going to the dumpster. So people might give a shit about it up front, but if we're going to be honest with the person, and if they're going to be honest with themselves, if we're not buying them, nobody is.
Dude, this just made me think. We got two people. We got Ray Parker and Junkman talking about Google glasses. And
it exists already. There's actually
we're not too far away from that. Like, I don't know if Scout Lee listens to me. I don't know if you told him, but they actually did that thing that I was talking about, where if there's no offers, it should compare to 15. I don't know how they found out about that, but I'm not saying that was my idea, but I had that idea before it existed. And so, but I have an idea for any scouting app out there, whether it's Seller Amp or Scoutly or Scout IQ. But if we have we know that there is technology that's really, really good, which is the Amazon Seller app can somehow scan like my fucking hoodie. And if this hoodie existed on Amazon, it would find it. Okay, so that part of the equation is done. It can just scan products. Imagine how easy and fun retail arbitrage would be if you could just walk down the aisle and it pulls up every item. So like you got your goggles on and it scans the cover, and then it pulls up like a transparent profit chart. You can see if the image matches, and then it could even snag a price nearby if the price tag is available. And so like if you could like focus just on certain items, like imagine how fun that would be. Like that's certainly in the future. Like people always think what's the future of arbitrage and books, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think arbitrage is going anywhere.
No.
Even though like the private label course people are like, or wholesale people try to sell you the dream. They're like, oh, arbitrage is going away. I saw this one guy making a lot of reels about that. But there's always going to be market inefficiencies. There's always going to be cheaper products at Target or Walmart than on Amazon, or there's going to be cheaper products at the thrift store. And so I think maybe this is going to be in the future where you do fucking put on the goggles, you go into the thrift store, it scans the spines of the books, and then you see $20 profit here, $40 profit there. You're in there for 5 minutes, you pick your books up and you go. Like that's going to exist.
It exists. I had somebody reach out to me through Instagram, and you can drag and drop photos into the software that he's built. And it's just like, you know, you go online and you look at an auction, it's just a bookcase and it's just the spines, and it does exactly what you said. It can tell you exactly what's on the bookcase. Sure, you're not going to be able to hit if it's like a first edition or this edition, but it's going to give you all of the information. So it's moving towards that way. And the problem is it squeezes out the little guy like me and you, because we're in there scanning individually. And if something like that comes along, it's the same idea of having a conveyor belt, right? And the huge mega sellers, they put it on the belt, it goes into the bin accordingly. It squeezes out the little guy, but it's going to happen eventually. And you just got to adapt. Like it's always going to be around for you to actually make money selling media.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be cool when it first comes out, because no one's going to know about it except for the people in the front line. Yeah. So
I don't know, man. There's still opportunity out there. Because I've been thinking about New Year's starting and, you know, making the video of, can you still make money selling on Amazon in 2025? The answer is yes. I don't even think you got to work that hard. I do not work that hard. I'm straight up with everybody about it. Like, and I'm content. Like, I'm glad, you know, Ray and Roy and Brown and everybody else here that's knocking it out of the park. Like, I'm happy if people are making more money than me. I don't do any type of hard work in comparison to working a normal job like CVS or, you know, any shit job out there. So I'm just thankful that we can go out and make the money we can, and you don't got to deal with nothing. There's no customers. You put it in a box and you never see it again, dude. It don't get no easier than, I mean, what is easier than this besides book profits? I mean, that's the easiest thing, but besides book profits, like this is, we're second in line here with how much money you can make and get your life back.
Man, yeah. In any industry, whether it's online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, any corner of the Amazon industry, if you put the work in, you're going to make the money. I always like to think of Manroop and Vishal. I had them come speak at my conference in Miami, and they started in 2020 with $5,000 a piece, and now they make over $1 million net a year just selling used books out of Canada. Every year at Miami Sellers Conference, I got new kids that started a few months ago, and they're doing 100, 200, 300K a month. You know, you get people starting wholesale, landing a brand direct deal in their first 60 days. Like it comes down to who you know, both on the supplier side, whether it's thrift stores, libraries, or if it's wholesale, brands, distributors, people willing to cut you the deals. And then also having the community. You guys should be talking with each other. Everyone in the Mike the Used Book Guy Club should be, oh, you're doing 111,000 in the last year. I did 60,000, or I did 6,000, or I just started. Like, can we talk? Can we Zoom call? Like, oh, and you find out that he's primarily sourcing pornography, you know, like, or something like that. Like, you find out he's primarily sourcing back rooms of thrift stores. You find out he's primarily sourcing libraries. He's doing online arbitrage. He's only buying books that have an average sales price of 60 and they drop to sub 20, and he's picking those up. Like, whatever it is, you know, and like, you find this out by having the network. The network's going to make you. The stronger your network, the more money you're going to make. And it doesn't, that rule doesn't go away for booksellers.
I got a crazy story on that. So
yeah,
in my small group, when I started my YouTube membership of $2.99 a month, probably like 3 or 4 years ago when I first started it, I had a lady. She was in the back room of Goodwills, multiple Goodwills. She was in the back room scanning the books. At the time, we didn't really do CDs or DVDs back then in the group. So the 1 week she comes on and she says, Mike, you're not going to believe it. Some other ass clown now is in the back rooms of my Goodwills, right? Don't you know that ass clown joined the membership and was on the next call? So 2 people in the whole country are in the same little pocket, and they're in the same Goodwill back rooms, and they didn't know each other from a hole in the wall. And they just, you know, they shared the stores, but like what you're saying, right? Like, the possibilities are endless, and it's such a small world once you start having conversations.
Yeah, 100%. I started making way more money in this business. I was just thrifting on my own, living in my car, making YouTube videos that nobody would watch. And then I met Caleb and Reezy and became really good friends with Caleb pretty quickly, and other people in the community. And as time went on, I just became this antenna for other Amazon sellers, and it served me so well over the years. And everybody has access to it. Everybody can do it. Everybody can post. You know, I was networking with just a few hundred reseller followers. You know, anybody can start. Just post your journey online. I think everyone should do it if they're inclined to, and it's going to open up the opportunity. But, you know, at the very bare minimum, just talk to people around you. Talk to the lady at the thrift store. Talk to the manager. Talk to the people who ask you questions about your business. Talk to your friends and family, and opportunity will come there. But literally, like, the more connections you have, the more opportunity is going to exist.
It's the silliest thing now, because everybody has access to everybody, right? Like, you can message anybody you see on YouTube, social media, and you'll probably get an answer back. Sure, I'm sure there's a few of them out there that won't give you a response, but like, we live in a world where all the answers and ideas are right in front of you, and like, everybody has the greatest opportunity to just you know, message Romer after this. Don't message me, message Romer. He's drinking tonight, all right? He'll answer all your messages. It might be, you know, some misspellings in there, but you'll get a response, right? You'll get a response. And back when I started, yeah, you existed, Reezy existed, but like, at the time, I think maybe I felt like overwhelmed, like, oh, I don't want to reach out to these guys, because you feel like, oh, Romer's this famous guy and Reezy's this famous guy. And that's not the case at all. Like, you're just down there with people. And I always tell everybody, the only reason I do YouTube to this day, you don't make money off of YouTube. I hate to break it to people. You're not going to get rich off YouTube unless you're Mr. Beast or selling media, talking about media. You're never going to get rich off YouTube. I only do it just to be proof of concept, so you can actually go out there and kind of change your life and change your financial, you know, status. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I always feel like I'm plugging my own events, you know, and I'm like trying to sell tickets and make a profit, which I am trying to make a profit off my events. But I think the reason why I'm able to fill up these events with so many people is because it's like one of the things I believe in the most, and it built me. I used to pay to go to every Turn the Page event, and you know, I'm even trying to sell you on the idea of going to events, but meeting these people in person changed my fucking life. And if you look at every aspect of my business right now, I can point to the person that made it possible. And, you know, I actually got hate from one of my business partners / friends. He's like, all you do is like, you get all your products just from connections, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's the game. That's the game, man. The game is the connections. Like, you know, and you don't have to, I guess, post on social media, but it certainly does help. But even if you talk to the people who don't post on social media, they're out there networking up other ways. You know, they've built a connection with one supplier who's talked to another supplier who's talked to somebody else. So just get out there and fucking talk to people, and things happen.
I got a weird take, and I've kind of stuck by this because having my group and having many people join, I feel like I got a lot more like, some of them are in the chat, and I don't give a shit. You guys can yell at me on the weekly call. I don't care. I feel like there's a lot more old timers out there hustling, turning this into a business than there are, you know, younger, you know, 18 to 24-year-olds. Like, what do you see out there?
Yeah, that's it. For booksellers, like Books and Beyond, the average age was probably like 50. Maybe like men were a little bit younger, and then the women were a little bit older. But I mean, you'd get like some hustling 30-year-old guys, but not really young. You wouldn't get too many young guys. We did have like one 16 or 17-year-old, Tristan. He's going to be successful. He was hustling hard, and his dad's packing inventory for him. But no, with books, it definitely attracts like an older crowd. I think it's because maybe older people like to read. Maybe it's more relatable for them. That's why the book profit guys are scamming all these people, because people watch it and like, oh, that makes sense. People still buy. 10% of Amazon sales are book sales. He said in one of his ads, 70% of Amazon's revenue is books, which I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, perhaps there's a lot of false claims, or maybe that is true. I need to fact check that. But at Miami Sellers Conference, we get a lot of younger kids. We get kids. We get 17, 18. We get people that can't drink. So we have to do our private after party. We still have a bartender who checks ID, but we have to do a private after party at a venue that can accept all ages. Whereas everywhere else, we used to do it at a public venue and these kids couldn't get in. So I think online arbitrage attracts the youngest crowd. And then wholesale is somewhere in the middle. I think generally like men who want to do the warehouse thing are attracted to wholesale, which you don't need. You can do a prep center like I do. But yeah, there's definitely different age brackets for different categories of selling on Amazon. And books is older, which is funny because you would think like if I post on social media all the time, when I open a Zoom call, you think it'd be a bunch of young guys coming in, but usually it's not.
It's a bunch of old people.
46 people watching right now are in that age range that I just said. Maybe more men on YouTube, probably. 30-year-old men with families who are just trying to make an extra, 10, 20,000 a month, on the side, doing books like Mike the Used Book Guy.
Beard King says, because a lot of younger generation is lazy. Make a YouTube video about that and let that be the title, and then you'll get all the nasty comments. You'll blow up overnight saying that younger people are lazy. I remember you did a video many years ago saying something like you should be moved out of your house or something. Do you remember what it was?
One of my top videos. It gets thousands of views a month. If you're 18, you should move out of your house.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I'm not going to say young people are. I think they're more wise and they realize that carrying heavy ass books maybe ain't the life they want to lead. But if you don't have the experience to, maybe they haven't worked a shitty job. Like I remember working at Macy's. Like Macy's was the worst job. You got to work 11-hour shifts because they make you take an hour lunch. And maybe they don't have that experience quite yet in life. So they think selling books and smelling like old shitty books and being in thrift stores isn't cool. So, I mean, I guess I get it from that side of it. And I think old people, older people, not old people, right? The older crowd, I think they realize, hey, this is an opportunity where I can supplement my income and not have to spend all day, every day in the business.
My take on why, because I have this thing where if I find out you work a job, like my students, I coach wrestling, and sometimes they'll miss practice because they have a job, and I cannot fathom that they are working for $15 an hour. In my mind, I can't understand why they think that's a good idea. When I know they've seen the TikToks, I know they've seen the Instagram of kids their age making money online, and it just blows my mind that people go to a job still. Because the truth is, if you go out and you scan fucking books for 8 hours a day and you go to every thrift store and every library, you're going to make $100K a year. Nobody wants to do that though. Nobody wants to go scan 8 hours a day. Nobody fucking does it. Because why? And this is the second part of what I was going to say. I don't think people can handle solitude. I think people don't only go to a job for the money and for the security, but I think they might have, oh, it's nice to have a boss. He's the one that kind of controls your reality. He's the one making decisions for you. When you're self-employed, all that shit's on you. You got to control your finances. You got to control how much money you make. You got to make these decisions. That's so much fucking responsibility for some people. They cannot handle it. And so when I see someone, working for $15 an hour, I'm like, why do they see me? They see what I did. I know you guys fucking see me on social media, my high school friends, my college friends. You literally saw what I did. I've given out there. Was it easy? Fuck no. But it blows my mind that they still think it's a good idea. And I think what it comes down to is like a job not only provides security, but it also provides like a community. It provides a boss. So it's not your fault. It's your boss's fault, blah, blah, blah. And these people have like this network that they're, as humans, we want to be part of like a social community, which I think that's why it's so important to have a group. And I have a group because we're allowing for Amazon sellers where it's like your own solo thing to do. We're giving them the opportunity to have that community, which is essential. I think that's a missing piece. I thought I could live without it for years, and I've always kind of had a community, but if you want to, as a solopreneur, you can just go out and not talk to anybody for weeks. It'll kind of make you go crazy. Like you have a wife, right?
Yep.
If you're a solo guy like me, or I have a girlfriend now, but like I was for years traveling, when I went in grind mode for a couple of weeks, I was envious of people who had jobs. Why? Because they could go and shoot the shit. They're making coffee. They're working at a cafe. So they're only making 15 an hour, but who gives a shit? They have a community. They have a boss telling them what to do. They know their paycheck's coming on Friday. And so there is a big mental shift you have to make when you're going to decide to do this shit on your own. And I'll add to that, like I keep saying, networking is the most important thing. Not only is it the most important thing, it's also like an emotional necessity, I believe, to have a community. And if your community is going to be your high school friends who each make $15, $20 an hour, which by the way, I'm still friends with my high school. I think they make more than that, but some of them maybe not. I still love hanging out with them. I coach wrestling with them, whatever, but it's going to make it so much easier in your journey if the people you're surrounding yourself with are all making like 100K on Amazon. It's just instantly going to change that in your fucking head, and you're going to realize this is possible. And you're going to have the community, you're going to have that emotional backbone that a job traditionally, supports. Like my girlfriend right now works at a Mexican restaurant, and she only makes a few thousand a month. And I'm trying to get her into making videos for the Amazon influencer program because she's smart. She's good at making videos. I swear she's better than me. And I know if she just like grinded 4 hours a day, first thing in the morning, she's working part-time now. She could quit whenever. I'm like, let's go. We could go travel the world. And I'm like, you being held here, what's holding you here? It's all of her friends. It's the boss. It's the security. And what I'm trying to do is show her there's like another way. But I'm aware of what entrepreneurship is now. And I feel guilty like taking someone that route, like pushing her into working 4 hours a day if she didn't have a community around her. Because now she's working 4 hours a day. Let's say she gets up to $5,000 a month with the video thing. Now she's not going to have all of her best friends around her. She's not going to have like a direction, like a boss telling her what to do. It can be emotionally stressful to do that. And so I think as entrepreneurs, it's important to like check that, anyway, in rant.
I mean, you hit everything on the head, but we're going to wrap it up here. I expect to see a lot of people here. All you Go2Lister users, you email them the Zoom link, right, for tomorrow?
Yeah, it'll be sent out. It was probably sent out tonight, and it'll be sent out tomorrow too.
I expect to see a lot of you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern on the monthly Go2Lister call. Other than that, he just hit the whole. We could have just said that and been done in 10 minutes, right? Like, some people just need it. Not everybody's going to be a fan. Friend, families, you can't sometimes convince people what you do is a real business. That's a-okay. As long as the bank account's going up, as long as you can support yourself and those around you that you care about, who cares what other people think? And don't try comparing yourself to me or Avery. Do what you need to do at the end of the day. You don't always have to be chasing these crazy lofty goals. It's like you want to do 10K a month. You do 10K a month. You're happy for 2 seconds. And then all of a sudden your goal is 25K a month. You don't even take a second to just chill and pop a bottle of champagne. You're like immediately setting yourself back instantly.
Yeah, 100%. Well, appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk in a month. And everyone who's got a Go2Lister account, all you got to do is go to go2lister.com, get a free trial. See Mike tomorrow night. Peace out, guys.
For sure. Have a good one.
You too.